Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got a question about information technology. What's that? I almost tossed this question out because I was like, really? But then I realized that there's actually some value in this question. So let me read it here. This is from OAD, and he says, he's not sure about his name. He says, OAD pronounced OAD, I guess. Okay, well, I guess, I'll guess OAD too then. He says, hi John, I tried to look after videos about IT at your channel and I found none. I hope you can share with others by posting a video about what your thoughts on this is. Jobs, what is IT? Is it worth it? And he says, no, I'm not lazy. I looked after information and I actually found some pretty okay stuff. I guess I just want to hear one of your stories about your experience, if there is any, with the subject. Thank you very much for reading this email. Have a wonderful day. All right, so I don't mean to, don't mean to make fun of you. This is a valid question, I think, is because, and the reason why this is a valid question, I mean, because some of you are like, oh, that's kind of dumb, like IT, what is that? Information technology? What are you even talking about here? That's the problem. I think it's pretty ambiguous. I was just thinking about this, right? When I was thinking about tossing out the question, and I said, well, wait a minute. What does IT actually mean today, right? What does it mean? Information technology, right? We kind of just toss that around and we don't really know what it means. And it was a little bit more distinct, I think, maybe 10 years ago. But now, what does it involve? Especially for those of you that are kind of new software developers, some of you are confused. Honestly, I've gotten some emails. What's the difference between IT and software development, and what does it encompass? Right? In the corporate world, we call it IT, and and we kind of just know what that is. But what does it actually mean? So, IT, information technology. This is my definition of it. It's basically the entire scope of all of the jobs and everything that's related to computers and technology in business, okay? So that's sort of changed a lot over the years, right? Because we used to have IT people, and IT people were the people that would come and set up your computer at your corporate job and install Microsoft Windows on there and image your system, and if your hard drive crashes, they would fix it and they would set up your network and all that. And I think there's still that part of IT, but IT is also now the Devops people, the developer operations people who are part developer and part operations people who do the infrastructure, right? And also make sure that the software gets deployed, right? And IT is technically you, right? As a software developer, right? You're IT as well because you're part of IT. I think that was always kind of part of it. So information technology is sort of that whole big scope of every single job, role, and responsibility that has to do with computers in the business setting. That's how I would define it. Some people might define it differently, but that's really what it is. So the IT industry is that entire industry and it's really big, right? But a lot of things are changing, right? Because again, we used to use the term to talk about the help desk people, the people that would set up your computer and networking and stuff. But a lot of times now we've got the cloud, right? We've got AWS, right? Where we're basically using virtual machines and we're using cloud-based hosting, and so a lot of companies they don't even really have IT. They're outsourcing IT essentially because that infrastructure, those guys that used to run those network wires and used to give you an IP address, they're not needed anymore because we're able to solve that with technology. Now there's still plenty of those people around, but I'm just saying in general, a lot of companies where IT was sort of, when I was earlier in my software development career, it was just like, duh. Now it's actually, there's a lot of new software developers that are like, well, what is that? I don't understand it. Don't we just spin up a machine like in the cloud? Like, what is IT? I don't get it. Like, there's software developers and we write code and that's it. And then we have DevOps guys and we deploy the code. That's it. And that's, IT in some companies has been eliminated based on that, right? You don't necessarily have to have a network guy. You don't necessarily have to have a help desk guy because you've got this, this ability as this technology's changed. So that's really what it is. And that's, and it's something that, like I said, is evolving. And so, hopefully that clears up. Some of you are like, oh, this is like, what are you even talking about, John? This is like dumb. I get that, if you've been in the industry for a while, but I want to make this video for some of you newer developers that don't quite understand like this, because you might have never seen IT like we used to, right? When you used to have to, get a subnet address and split up the IP and put the subnet mask in and all this stuff, and you had to have someone that knew how to do all that stuff, because now a lot of it is automatic, or you don't need that, or you're running wires and twisting cables and all that kind of stuff, right? And there'll still always be some of that, but a lot of companies can actually exist with everyone remote, and you don't actually have a real IT department in the company, and that's I think that's a wave of the future. I think that kind of IT is going to disappear, but the general IT that includes software developers and all of those other roles, that's always going to be around, obviously. So, all right, if you like this video, if you want to get more videos like this one where I answer questions and give you life advice and tell you all kinds of fun stuff and stories, go ahead and click that subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.